So today on What's Popping is Jonas Brothers, and I did the story, I think, a day ago, and there was speculation that Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner, you know who they are?
They're a couple.
Yes, the eldest brother of the of the Jonas Brothers, and Sophie Turner from Game of Thrones. Well, there was reports that they had, were heading to a divorce, but now he has confirmed that they are going to be getting a divorce.
Is it true that he caught her cheating?
I don't know.
Okay, so I'm hearing two things. I heard first that she wanted to party more than to be at home with family, number one. And then I heard that she was caught cheating on some security home camera. I don't know if that's true.
Well, I don't know. I honestly don't know. But what I do know is that Joe Jonas did take to his social media and he wrote and said, I love Sophia. He went to his social media and said that he and his wife, his soon-to-be ex-wife, Sophia Turner, after 4 years, have decided to go their own separate ways because of, what's that word?
Irreconcilable
differences. And they're asking for our privacy. I respect and privacy of them going through this situation, and also to respect the privacy of their children.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, when you're a public figure, you can't demand for privacy, even when it comes to your private life. I mean, because in this case, she's also a big star. If she were a commoner, you could say, yeah, maybe, but man, if you're a star and she's a star, please, your marriage is our business. We want to know the ins and outs of it. So, does this mean he's back on the market so all the ladies can line up and take a shot?
But what he did say a few, months ago, and during an interview, he went on to say, I want to feel like an open book. That's what he said, explaining during an interview. He's like, but when we started dating, and he's referring to his now soon-to-be ex-wife, I realized that I didn't have a ton of stuff that was just for me. And in the end, it makes me a better person to have something for myself. I think it was regarding, meaning her.
Wow.
Well, they did first meet in 2016 and announced their engagement the following year. They secretly tied the knot in Las Vegas in 2019, and before hosting a big wedding celebration at a place in France that I cannot pronounce. His groomsmen were his brothers Nick and Kevin Jonas, and their wives Priyanka Chopra and Danielle Jonas were also there. And it was a beautiful wedding and whatnot. But you see, the thing is that it breaks my heart when I see couples, just breaking up like that, and we don't see, because for a long time we have only seen them in the perfect light, haven't we not? We've never had any cheating scandals or any rumors of anything happening. Just we see happy. And then out of nowhere, boom, we are separating and we can't, and that is just it. So, it makes me feel like a lot of unanswered questions, and they do have two beautiful daughters together.
Well, I do have a theory as to why they might have gotten divorced.
Why?
Do you recall that about a month ago, Joe Jonas gave an interview in which he admitted to having pooped his pants?
Okay.
He admitted to have pooped in his pants during a performance. And I don't know how you can walk that back, and I don't know how you can... If, for example, can you imagine the guy you're seeing, the man you love or you're married to or dating, reveals that one day he had that kind of an accident? Would you see him the same way again?
I don't think that would affect anything.
Wouldn't that just evaporate any hint of attraction you might have for him? Because, ew.
Accidents do happen.
He crapped his pants.
Accidents
he pooped
do happen.
in his pants.
And matter of fact, it might have been an exaggeration, because sometimes I do know for a fact by the time some people talk about things like that, it's probably an exaggeration. He may have just maybe farted and something spilled.
Whoa.
But it wasn't like
My
a
friend,
whole
he miscalculated.
dookie. Because if it was like a whole dookie, then the whole show would have been cancelled.
Right,
You get me? So it was just an exaggeration, I think, and I don't think that caused that.
It's one of the most challenging things in life. Like, you can be having stomach problems and you're feeling a rumbling and you're like, well, let me just release a little gas to ease my, to relax a little bit. And before you know it, my friend, there were other things in the pipeline.
Yeah.
And you find out the hard way. So, also another reason as to why they might have gotten divorced.
Fatboy, okay. Why do you think?
He's way shorter than her. She's a giant. She's so tall.
What? Let me tell you, a woman. How tall is she? Let me just.
She
do a
is
quick,
super
let me
tall.
do a
And I don't know what
quickie.
it is about the Jonas Brothers, but they all marry taller women, if you've noticed. Because even Priyanka is taller than Nick. Mm-hmm. Isn't he? Isn't she?
Well, she's
Check it out.
1.75 meters.
Yeah, that's tall. That's like what, 5'10" maybe?
Yeah, well, she's 2 inches taller than Joe Jonas. Only 2 inches.
Right.
I don't think that is like a big problem, because if that was an issue, she wouldn't have had 2 children by him. Now, would that be the issue? What? She suddenly realized that, oh my goodness, second child, this man is so short.
Okay, so it must have been the poop thing. That must have been it. Because what else? What other reason do you have? But anyway, I guess it's too bad for them.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll eventually find a way to, move forward.
But people do drift apart, and I think it's okay for people to drift apart and not want to spend. It's okay for people to love each other and not want the same things. And just because you don't want the same things doesn't mean that you should force things, because at the end of the day, you'll just end up resenting each other. You can just split up and continue to be good friends.
Do you think
with each
he's
other.
because I don't know if, I think I saw this yesterday. Someone was saying that because they are on tour right now, aren't they?
Yes, they are, the Jonas Brothers.
And on their recent performance, before starting one of the songs, Joe was crying. So maybe he's really feeling he's in pain.
Or it could be theatrics.
Come on.
It could be theatrics. I mean, we see this all the time. They're entertainers.
Anyway.
So you can't ever tell when they're being real or when they're faking it. Because at the end of the day, they have to, make a bag.
Fair enough. But, I guess we'll never know. But that said, again, it's not surprising. These things happen a lot these days. Not just to celebrities, but even us, the common folk. Not all of us are going to be as lucky as the president of Uganda and his wife, who last week celebrated 50 years of marriage
50
together.
years of marriage.
Can you imagine 50 years with someone?
That
with
is
the same
beautiful.
person?
That is, I feel like a
Although-
very good thing.
We know that he has another family, but that's a story for another day.
It could be his family before her.
Doesn't look like it, because the children that we've seen with the other ladies look noticeably younger than his children with the first lady. So that one looks like a new family, a new family unit that came into existence after he'd
But
long
you
been
do
married
know, and
to
a lot of men
Janet.
do always say this, that just because they reproduce with another woman doesn't mean that they love that new woman and love the other woman less. Regardless, I do know it takes a lot of work to make a relationship work, and sometimes this is the thing. I think it's not even about forgiveness. It's about purpose. Why did you marry this person? And a lot of people who understand the purpose as to why they are marrying one person are not going to let other things like, say, infidelity that may be a deal breaker
Such
for other
a trivial
people
matter as
get in
infidelity.
the way, because you got married with purpose. You
But you
married
see-
because you wanted to secure the bag, secure your future, secure your children's future, and because you had a vision that is way bigger than just your feelings towards one other person.
Well, you know what? I would encourage men to use that excuse. Sounds
The
like
what?
the way you put it sounds so majestic
it's
and
not
so.
me who came up with that excuse.
It
It's men
sounds
who
so
did.
convincing. I think men would be fools to not try to use it next time they get caught stepping
Get
out.
what?
Like if
No,
their
but this
if
is
their
the
lady
thing. No.
catches them somewhere with
This is what I'm saying. It's a lot of men always say it. Even you have said it, that just because a man cheats doesn't mean he doesn't love
True.
the other woman.
True. Yes.
And it's also been scientifically proven that a lot of men do not get attached or fall in love through sex. They get it.
Most
they fall
times.
in love when they trust a woman.
Sometimes it's so good, man.
When they trust a woman. Men apparently fall in love when they trust a woman, not through sex. And that's the thing. But then again, at the end of the day, it depends on you what your deal breaker is. If infidelity and cheating is a deal breaker for you, absolutely, by all means, do not stay with that person, because that can bring you illegitimate children and STDs. I always say this on the show. So do not compromise just because Sarah said or because science says. And you will definitely find someone who will respect your boundaries and not put you in that situation. Because you see, again, men will say it's just because they're cheating, it is nothing. But then when the woman is like, okay, fine.
I'll
You want to
cheat too.
cheat? I'll cheat too. And then now he's
Problems.
here having a temper tantrum. He's falling in and out of coma. He's in the ICU because
Whoa,
another
heart attack.
Exactly.
Wow.
So
That's how it is.
Did
So
you see that viral TikTok of this woman who was telling her husband, since you're going to keep on cheating? She had caught him cheating numerous times. She's like, since I caught you cheating, I'm not going to divorce you. I'm not going to leave you. However, this marriage is now open. I'm going to find myself somebody else, and I am going to start seeing other people. And the man was like, no, you can't do that. What about? She's like, listen,
Really?
I have caught you numerous times and it is okay since I can't stop you. She's like, but one thing I'm not going to take away from you is that you are a good father to your children, and for the stability of our children, we will continue to live in this house.
I think
However,
that's very
I
good.
am going to start seeing other men. The man was going on a whole temper tantrum, calling his mom to talk to her, calling her mom to talk to her, calling the pastor.
Oh dear.
He was recording on, social media live saying how she's unfair and unjust. So a lot of men can't take the crap that they put women through. And good for her. Good for her. Good for her, absolutely.
To be honest, that is a much better compromise than for her to have divorced him, because she would have definitely taken him to the cleaners. So he should count himself as lucky.
He should be.
Right?
Actually, I agree. Do you know another thing? Is
What?
that another man posted under her story, and then he was like, the same thing happened to him. But for the wife, she said she's going to see other people, and he can continue to see other people, including the woman that she caught him cheating with. However, they should not tell each other when or who they are seeing. So he's like, every time she comes home and rejects his advances or goes straight into the shower, he imagines she has been with somebody else, and it kills him.
It kills him inside.
As it should.
Wow.
As it should.
Careful what you wish for.
And if I were her, I would do that every other day.
Wow.
Matter of fact, I would leave home all dressed up, perfume and whatnot.
But so I count
just
myself.
come back home to completely psychologically torture you.
Well, I count myself as being among those men who kind of assume it from the get-go. Like, even if I don't need to have even caught you cheating or suspect you of cheating, I just assume you could be. So that's how I walk into every relationship or situation I'm in with a lady. I just assume there's probably dudes in her life. There's probably an ex who wants to get back. There's probably a guy she's meeting somewhere that is more exciting for her than I am, because maybe we've been together a while. Like, I never make the assumption that there aren't other people. Usually I assume that there are. And yet I still find ways of enjoying the relationship. So I can be lying in bed with a lady and thinking to myself, well, she could very well have been somewhere else, but who cares? It's my turn now. So roll over, baby. Let's do this.
That's a sad thing. That's the saddest thing you have ever said.
But I'm happy.
I doubt you're happy. I doubt you're happy if you're thinking about it. Let me tell you something.
I don't dwell on it, but I assume it.
If you are not bothered by it, you would not even be worrying about it.
Well, you kind of just have to understand that this is the reality that we live in now.
It's a sad thing. It's not the reality.
It's the reality of social media,
of dating
apps.
It's a reality for some people, but not for everybody. And I feel it's very unfair for you to carry that burden and also project that burden onto somebody else.
I mean, do I look burdened? I look quite relaxed.
You do, because you're
I look
bringing
so
it
chill.
up. Are you, though?
Yeah. You think inside I'm crying?
Right now, you might be crying. Your heart is in pieces, and it is,
My dear,
beating
no.
at 60, kilometers per hour.
No, my dear, I'm very chill.
Okay.
But let me just hit you with a few birthdays. Today, artist Pink celebrates her 44th birthday. Also, rapper Wiz Khalifa turns 36 years old. Ain't that interesting? And thank you so much, sir, for letting us know what's popping. Looking forward to having you join us in about an hour with even more updates on what's popping out there. You are listening to The Fatboy Show on RX Radio. The party continues on this Friday edition. Check out this next cool track coming to you from Cheat Codes featuring Bryce Vine. This one is Stay.
RX Radio.